Welcome to another episode of Creating Cultures that Outperform. I'm Frank Winter. I'm the founder and CEO of PeopleProductive, and I am normally here with my co-host, Terri Mays, who's a certified culture engineer. But unfortunately, Terri has a conflict. She may very well be dropping in, and we'll have to wait and see if Terri is going to drop in or not. It could happen. I hope so. She's always super to have around. But, I'd like to thank you right up front for joining us. PeopleProductive is a company that likes to give back. We give back by hosting the show, Creating Cultures that Outperform. Nothing matters more in the new world of work than understanding the human factors that drive enterprise success and human performance. And people join us here on this program or watch it on YouTube after the fact to understand the human factors and to use them and apply them in the workplace. Because the people who know how to do that absolutely will learn how to outperform. So the bottom line is, thank you for coming. Today, we're really covering the bully. And next week, we're going to be covering the narcissist. These are the people, unproductive personality types. We have a whole series on these. You're going to love them. There's the hero, these people that are just so incredibly annoying in the workplace. So let's talk about the bully. It's unfortunate. There is a lot of bullying that goes on, and it's not just limited to high schools and grade schools. It happens in the workplace. And so, we get down to the real basic question of why do people actually bully other people? Bottom line is, bullies are people who really lack a lot of esteem. And, when they bully somebody else, they feel better because they think that they're bringing somebody down. They're in fact boosting themselves up. They're making somebody lower than them. And, that's the basic frame. They'll bully people they're jealous of. People who are better than them make them feel bad. They can't handle it by celebrating the fact that person is good. They want to bring the people down to the level. They want to belittle them. And, these folks are always looking for flaws in other people, right? So if you're dealing with bullies, especially with a bullying boss, don't share too much. Don't share weaknesses, certainly, because they're going to try to use them against you. Bullies, because they're low esteem, guess what? They want to feel important. And anything they can do that makes them feel important, including making other people feel less significant than them, it's going to make them feel like they're more important. They'll attack other people to get a boost. They'll make fun of other people to get a laugh out of the group and basically gather a little bit of esteem. At least they think so by being somewhat funny. People tend to look down on it. They see right through it. It doesn't really work. They always want attention, right? So, making fun of others will bring them some attention, and they want that. And these are bullying tactics. They like to feel in control. They believe that manipulating other people's really weakens them. They love destroying their victim's self-esteem. They do that, and that's typical of these narcissistic personality types, especially the malignant narcissists. They put them down. And when you're dealing with these people in the workplace, nothing could be more unproductive. They're the people that break apart group cohesion. They don't form relationships. And when they're a boss, they're pretty dangerous, actually. And, if you have a bullying boss, you've got to be pretty methodical about keeping track of what happens. Don't bend and don't submit. That is the way you deal with a bully. You never want to submit to them. You want to hold your ground. You don't want to let them get over on you in any way. So don't be the victim, don't sweat the small stuff. They're going to do petty stuff if they're the boss. Don't get isolated. Build a lot of relationships in the workplace. Stay strong. The more relationships you have, especially with people who are successful and have some power in the workplace, that's going to help protect you if you're a bullying boss. You definitely want to document everything, though. Like I said earlier, document it. Keep track of everything. Eventually, you may have a case to go to HR to get rid of this person. Be positive. When they come around, be positive. Don't let them ever think they're getting under your skin. Be the warrior, stand up to them, be positive. Try to get them to shift off topic if they're really, undertaking an attack of some kind on you. Distract them with something, maybe some other piece of information or news or something about the workplace. I think these are important tactics that you can do. These safe spots, if you're around other supervisors and things, they're really not going to be able to attack you. A lot of these people do their dirty work in private. So the more you're in public, connected to people, the better off you're going to be. It's much harder these days when everybody is remote. They're not going to run into you in the elevator or the hallway where they have opportunities to do stuff. It's, easier when they're in a conference room holding court to really bully you than when they're online and everybody's remote. People see right through it. If you are in a bullying situation, find an elegant way to excuse yourself and just get out of there. Have a good excuse. Maybe you're going to go to the restroom, whatever it is, but don't just take the attack the way it is. And like I said, always protect your personal information and hold your cards close to you. If you're building a case against them, certainly don't let them know. It's going to make them even more resolved to come after you. So, bullies are these are bad people. And you definitely want to make sure you protect yourself. Now, bullies come in the forms of bosses and coworkers. Coworkers are much easier to deal with in the sense that people see through them. Sometimes they will have other people who join in and enjoy the bullying, but stand your ground regardless of who it is. You just absolutely have to do that. So there are bullies everywhere. They're highly destructive to productivity. They lack self-esteem. These are people that tend to really lower the productivity of the workplace. And bullies, if you're a leader and you see bullying going on, you absolutely have to stop it. Oh my God, look at this. Terry's dropping in. Oh, hey.
I'm dropping in.
Perfect.
Oh
Well,
my God, that
make
is
it.
hilarious.
As predicted, we weren't sure you'd be here, but we're glad you could drop in. And hey, Marcelo, really appreciate that funny stuff. That was great.
Yes, thank you. I have to get a copy of that video to give it to my husband. He is going to get a kick out of that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Right. Send him a link to the recording. He's going to be like, oh my God, Terry dropping in. That's great. That
That's
was
probably as close to skydiving as I will ever get.
Yeah. You and me both. That is not on my bucket list. Trust me. I have no desire to do that.
No, no, no.
So welcome to the bully. I was just going over why people bully and tactics for dealing with bullying bosses and bullying people in general. So just chime in, the bully, anything you want to add, even if it's a repeat, don't worry about it. This is a good topic.
Yeah, you've got those people that are, for some reason, they feel like they have to let you know that they have power and you don't, or at least in their minds, they think, hey, I'm better than this person. I can tell them what to do. I have more authority. Or they're just mean-spirited people,
Yeah.
people that they just get a kick out of pushing other people down.
Yeah, you're
Because
beneath me and you're going to feel that way.
yeah, this really insecurity really is what it's covering up is.
Mhm.
I don't want people to know that I'm really insecure. So I put up this big front that I'm better, I'm bigger, I'm badder, and anybody that comes to challenge me, I'm going to let them know that I'm the one that's in control, not them.
Yeah, excellent way to describe it because that is what it is. They always want to be the biggest, toughest character around. Hey, don't challenge me. And they're usually just fold quickly if somebody much tougher than them shows up.
Yeah.
But they're clever, many of these people, right? Because they will hide a lot of these bullying tactics when there are people around that they don't want them to see it. So a lot of them will carry this stuff out privately.
Yes.
True.
Always in secret. They're looking for a weak link, right? So if you're comfortable in your own skin, you're confident in who you are, then a bully most of the time won't get very far with you because you're going to shut them down. But the bully is looking for that person that they can dominate, that person that they can make feel small, that they can actually feel like they're getting something out of it by they feel like by making the other person feel small, they make themselves larger. And it really, in actuality, when you see this kind of bullying behavior, it really makes the bully look small and they don't realize it. They really think that it's the opposite effect that's happening. But most of the time, people that are around that observe this
Yeah.
bullying in the workforce, you really are trying to figure out how can I de escalate this situation? How can I help and come to the aid of the person that's being bullied? Because this person, for whatever reason, doesn't feel like they can stand up for themselves,
Yeah.
and lots of times people go to HR right away. They go to HR and
Yeah.
HR involved because bullies really are just making the whole work environment toxic. And
This
it's
is one of the great things that happened to her is years ago, those people had free reign. If they were seen to be doing their job, nobody said boo about it. And there were more bullies around. These days, it's harder to be a bully and survive because people know it really destroys productivity. But they're out there and they're more clever, than they were before. Um,
they have to be subtle, right?
yeah,
So it's very rare. I have experienced it before where there was a bully in the office that really would make these loud outbursts and kind of
yeah,
like disrupt the entire office space. And you're just kind of like, what is happening? Like, really, what is going on? But that's rare now. Usually it's something that's done behind the scenes in private, in
yeah,
quiet settings, where you would never know. And then that person kind of flips their persona to be somebody else because they don't want you to know that they're secretly bullying people in the office.
yeah. And sometimes they'll make you the brunt of a joke. They'll find something that they can pick on you about. They'll do it to be the life of the party and funny, and they think that elevates them and makes them more respected by the other people, but it doesn't. So they do some things publicly.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, they get into, publicly putting people down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they hone their craft, right? The really good bullies have been at this since they're kids. So they get it. They sense a target right away.
Hmm.
And as you said earlier, the people who are, positive, optimistic, have a confident air about them, they sense they're not the one to go after.
Yeah. And
And
people that will kind of come back at them once they start coming at the person and somebody will meet them right where they are and
yeah.
challenge them right back, you'll notice that the bully kind of shrinks away from that person
Oh, yeah.
because now it's not a challenge. If you challenge them right back in the same platform that they challenged you on, you challenge them right back and immediately they kind of take a step back, or it'll kind of de-escalate the situation because they see, okay, I can't
Yeah.
dominate this person.
They
This
get that
person
uh-oh moment.
get away with what I'm doing, so let me move on to find somebody that will.
Yeah, I need a soft target.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they'll like, "Oh, hey, listen, I was just kidding." They'll try
Yeah.
to just dismiss it as it wasn't really intended the way they took it, so they can elegantly back out of it. "Oh,
Yeah.
no, that was nothing. Don't worry about it. You're a
Yeah.
good guy."
And bullies are those kind of people that really have to have the final say. They have to have their point of view that's coming across. Everybody has to kind of bow to them. They must always win. They don't think we win or together we can do
Yeah,
things. It's all about them and elevating who they are and what they think of themselves. This kind
yeah,
of false sense of importance and false sense of pride that really has escalated to a level that's not healthy.
Oh, yeah. And some of these people will block others' growth,
Hmm.
right? They'll try to get in your way and block your growth. They'll do things if they want you to be their victim. They're clever about it.
Yeah,
They have many tactics.
yeah,
As terms of people unproductive, these are some of the worst, the bullies.
yeah.
There are a
It's
lot of
frustrating.
personality types.
Very disruptive personality.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, you can't really function well, at least for me, I can say for sure. I need kind of peace and serenity. I'm a deep thinker. So when I take on projects or assignments, anything that I'm working on, I have to have space to really deeply think about it, bring
Yeah.
my thoughts together, organize my thoughts, prepare what I want to say in advance. And when you've got bullies in the office, it's very difficult because they're so disruptive. Or the fallout of that disruption, even if you weren't a part of the times where they've kind of had these explosive conversations with people, you get the fallout of it, of the person that's being bullied and how they're not able to do their job well. They
Yeah.
may come to you to confide in you because you're more of a calm nature person versus this, outrageous personality that's trying to dominate them. They may come and ask you for support or advice. So
Yeah.
you get the fallout of it. You still are impacted, even though you may not have been in that situation immediately, you still get the fallout. So being a bully in the office, you really are impacting a lot of people, and it really does impact the bottom line because now people have to spend time working on psychological safety,
Yeah.
making sure people feel physically safe. In this day and age, it's sad but true that physical safety is at question sometimes.
Oh yeah. I mean, much more than ever, especially in
Right,
these large cities.
right. So
Terrible.
you don't want to be that person that's inciting the riot, that's really causing people to get into that stressful state because you see this stuff happening in the news all the time. It's real, and it causes real stress for people. It really does cause people to, really take put up more safeguards.
Oh
They're
yeah.
more careful. They're extra guarded. So you don't want to be that person that's making people feel like they have to do that.
Oh yeah. And listen, with COVID and the economy and certainly the situation where people have to be looking over their shoulder because there is more crime, mental health has deteriorated.
Yes.
It really has. And it's a bit of an epidemic out there. So bullies adding extra layers of stress, I mean, it's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely terrible.
People have enough that they have to think about from real life issues that
Yes.
to now have this extra layer of all of these people in the office that are just making it stressful, even more stressful than it has to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, as a leader, you should get rid of anybody in your organization that's a bully. Be on the lookout for them. Make sure that people understand if they feel someone's bullying them, they should feel free to come to you and talk about it. They certainly can always go to HR. Said earlier, they've got to make sure they document stuff. Just keep really good records if you do have a bully after you. So you have, you know, facts, you can get allies to help you document what's happening. And you can use HR in these situations because they're much more likely to help. But I think we did a pretty good job covering it. Maybe we should bring up the
The
takeaways.
takeaways. Yes.
Let's bring up the takeaways.
So this slide is really meant to help some folks. Hopefully, you can kind of look at this list. And again, these slides, we can only share so much information on one slide. But, this is not exhaustive. But these are some signals that you might actually be the bully. You may not think, oh, my office doesn't have a bully, but the bully might be you. So make
Yeah.
sure that it's not you. Look at some of these symptoms. So you're yelling at people to get your point across. You have to remember that this is not the time and place in a corporate setting to be yelling at people. Like that's never going to end well.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
never going to get what you're trying to get by
Always
just
a terrible
raising
idea.
your voice
Always
and
a terrible
yelling at
idea.
people. Like it's not going to change one thing. Yet the volume in your voice is not going to make people move faster. So you really do have to remember that. If you're one of those people that think you have to win an argument, Remember, in the workplace, and much like in family and marriage, in the workplace, you're on the same team. So there's no winning and losing except we all do it together. So if you're on a team with people, if one of us loses, we all lose. So keep that in the
100%.
back of your mind. It has to be we think and not me think. I can't be so focused on myself and my own winning and personal gain.
Yep.
So you're thinking that people always have subpar ideas, that your ideas are just the best thing since sliced bread and everybody else is just a dummy. You think people around you are idiots all the time. Well, that's probably not correct. That's probably you having a false sense of who you are. And you might be a bully because when you think everybody around you is dumb or that they just don't have the skills that you have, if you think you're surrounded by idiots all the time,
Mhm.
that's probably not an accurate picture. So you're probably mistreating people because you think or feel that they're an idiot. And
Yeah,
that's
you're
just terrible. It's just
misreading the situation and, trying to, raise your level of self-esteem by being brighter than everybody,
yeah.
right? Crazy.
Absolutely crazy. You don't consider people's feelings when you have to share things with them. Again, when you think people are an idiot, you really don't care how they feel about what you have to say. You
Mhm.
really have to think about this. If you're constantly in this space where you feel like you don't really care about people's feelings. You have no sympathy for them whatsoever. You cannot be empathetic towards their situation. You have to turn that back to yourself and ask yourself a question. If you're never in a place where you can show empathy, then something might be wrong. And
Well,
that
especially if
probably
you're a leader,
wrong with
it's
you.
one of the number one things connected to leadership success is empathy, that
Yes.
ability to understand others and, make a connection. That's it. If you're, if you're getting these feelings and you're a bit of a bully, you're in the wrong career. You're not going to make it. You're going to get found out. You're not going to be a successful leader over time, and better off dealing with it now.
Yes. You don't want to be that person that's making other people feel bad. Like you just go out of your way to make sure that they feel bad when they make a mistake. So that you're again creating that psychological or disrupting psychological safety in the workplace when people feel like they cannot make a mistake or they're going to have you breathing down their neck. That's not a good place for people to work in. So
Mm.
make sure you're not doing those things to people. You don't want to delegate tasks off to others that really belong to you because you're just showing your dominance.
Oh yeah, make them squirm.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. And then you want to be that person that gives praise. Everybody has done something well, big or small. Find those things that people are doing well and focus on the positive, not the negative. So
Yeah,
if you're one of those people that's constantly walking around criticizing everybody, you're constantly pointing out what's wrong, then you might be the bully.
yeah,
That
yeah.
might actually
You
be
probably
you.
are. You
Yeah,
probably are.
you are probably the bully. So, your move this week is to take a stand against those bullies. Really stand up with that person that may feel like they're being bullied and they don't really know what to do or how to stand up to the person. Stand with them. You will never reach higher ground if you are always pushing others down. I thought
Super
this
quote. I think
was
that is just so true, right?
spot on.
You're
You'll never get higher just by pushing people down. You're
never.
actually going lower.
Yeah, you're pulling yourself down with them. I mean, that's what bullies are doing. They're diminishing who they are. They're diminishing their importance in the place. They're lowering their esteem. Everything they want, which is higher esteem, they're losing it. And
Yes.
they don't realize because it's a blind spot.
Yeah.
So, folks, next week, 3 o'clock on Wednesday, we are going to be covering the narcissist. There are a lot of narcissistic personality types. We'll be going over the narcissist, malignant narcissists in particular, who are so damaging to the workplace. These people are just in love with themselves. And tune in to find out why these are so unproductive, these personality types. People unproductive. It's a
Yeah.
great thing. And who knows, Terry may be dropping in again.
Yeah. I
I don't
may
know.
be dropping in. You never know.
We don't know. But listen, till the next episode of Creating Cultures that Outperform, we wish you all the best. See you next Wednesday.
Yes. Bye for now.
Take care.